Shalom. I want to give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the 144,130 elect of the nation of Israel. I'm the brother Kabash from the GMS Atlanta camp, and I'm here with the hope for edifying lesson through the spirit of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. And in this lesson, I'm going to get into this video. I'm going to get into partial parts of it, and I'm going to filter it through the scriptures, going into the book of Baruch chapter 4, on how our enemies are going to reap misery because they have sown by going against Israel, the people of the Lord, in these modern day times, which are so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians. The many chronological times dealing with this government, and before this government started here in America, and other world leader governments too as well, like Spain, Germany, Britain. They all had a hand in the slave trade, and also going up against so-called natives of Americas, North, Central, and South. And the Lord said He's going to plead with them down in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, which that's where they're going to fight that Third World War, which is headlined in the news already. So you have that going on. Then you have the collapse of this society, which this Edomite is going to go into. A lot of Edomites is posting videos, whether on social media, it's like your TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, etc. They are literally doing videos like this. They got compilations of these type of videos too. It ain't people in one state. It's like all over the United States, and they pretty much saying the same thing about America is on a decline. How everything is gonna change soon as well. For the worse for people. And this is all linked to the prophecies that were spoken about in this book. In particular, the one I'm about to go into is the book of Baruch chapter 4. And the Lord is doing this collapse to America and elsewhere in the world, because as soon as America falls, the rest of the world is going to fall too as well. That's written about in Revelation chapter 18. America is leading the world in prosperity. But these other nations, they halt or gain momentum back on America as well, and they became a superpower. Like the likes of Russia, North Korea, China, essentially the BRICS. You had Iran to join the BRICS, which this World War III is all about gaining the world with the elite of this world, in particular the Edomite class, so-called white people, the Rothschilds, Oppenheimers, the more elite anarchies that really took over the world during the time of, like I mentioned, Britain, Spain, Portugal. They was behind those wars. The Napoleon War, French, Spain coming over here, Queen Isabella, which was an Edomite, and her family was an Edomite, by the way. They gave charter to Christopher Columbus to come over here and search out Americas. And Esau never lost his grip on power. The reason why, because part of these prophecies. So I'm going to go ahead and start this clip, and I'm going to get a couple scriptures.
Hello, friends. The American economy is collapsing, and I want to point out exactly why. Has anybody else just seen like 1,000 TikToks from 1,000 different experts and 1,000 different people struggling, explaining how our economy is like in a free fall collapse? And AI is going to take like 80 million jobs away in the next 2 years. And right now, for the first time since 2020, there's more people that are unemployed than there are jobs. So I keep hearing all this. And does anybody else just like what the is going to happen? Because billionaires are becoming trillionaires, and you and I can't afford to eat. And restaurants are shutting at rapid pace. Small businesses are shutting at rapid pace. They're literally killing the middle class. And you can tell how healthy an economy is based on the middle class. And I just hate that the people that are saying this is all by design aren't sounding so cuckoo anymore.
Now, first of all, I'd like to say that I'm not a communist. I'm not. I'm a conservative Christian, and I am noticing things. And if anybody disagrees with me, that's okay. I'm just here to state the facts. Here to state the facts.
I literally feel like we're all somehow trapped into a scam. Like, I look around me and nothing feels real to me anymore. Money's fake, food's fake, society feels fake. Like, it honestly just kind of feels like none of this even matters at the end of the day. Like, you're telling me that I have to live another 50 years, living this mundane life, doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result from the week before, living with all of this unnecessary stress and all of this unnecessary pressure, and I'm just supposed to be like chill and okay with it.
Income inequality was a major contribution to the Great Depression. The top 1% was holding on to 24% of the wealth, whereas the top 1% today is holding on to about 31%, and the top 10% are holding on to about 67% of the wealth in the United States, and it just keeps getting worse.
So you wake up early in the morning to go to work to pay for a house that you're never at. And you pay for a car that primarily gets you from and to work, correct? The government takes anywhere from, let's say 30 to 50% of your wages. And then there's things like VAT, which is basically your money getting taxed that was already taxed. You save up your whole life for a pension, which at the end of the day, the government takes 40 to 50% of that. Then in your elder years, you're living off canned soup and bread because that's all you can afford. And then you get your state pension, which you can't get until you're like 180 years old. And even with that, if you die before you get it, you can't even pass it down to your kids. The government takes it. We are all getting scammed so fucking bad.
And it's getting worse and worse every week. We have had 1.1 million people laid off already in the United States since 2025 started. Now, all these people don't have a job, which means they're not going to be out buying as much. That's going to hurt the economy if we're not out there spending. You can't lay people off and take their jobs away and expect them to be able to spend at the same time. And we've got a whole lot more layoffs expected to come through.
So, okay. Go ahead and get into the Baruch. This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 21. Be of good cheer, O my children. Cry unto the Lord, and he will deliver you from the power and the hand of the enemies. Yeah, who is Israel's enemy? These damn heathens ruling over us, especially Esau. And it was all part of that prophecy in Deuteronomy chapter 28. Our enemies should get above us very high, and we should come down very low. That was the prophecy and the curse. And it says, And the enemies of Israel too as well. Let me add this. Is in Psalms chapter 83. You can read about the enemies of Israel, the natural Gentiles, which goes back to the table of nations in the book of Genesis chapter 10. And then in that nations of table, it's like tables of nations. You have the Gentiles mentioned. You also had the children of God who the Lord was dealing with through the the sons of Shem, which the Lord was dealing with Shem, because the Lord had it to where Noah blessed Shem because he was the eldest, and the eldest, the firstborn, gets the birthright. So right here it says, "For my hope is the everlasting, that He will save you. For my hope is in the everlasting, that He will save you, and joy is coming to me from the Holy One, because of the mercy which shall soon come unto you from the everlasting, the Savior. For I sent you out with mourning and weeping, but Yahweh will give you to me again with joy and gladness forever. Like as now the neighbors of Sion have seen your captivity." Yeah, when we went into slavery, they took over our lands. All the nations seen us going into captivity. They was banking on us going into captivity. So these Gentiles, they can't be saved because they really essentially broke, the laws, being covetous. Thou should not covet thy neighbor's goods. You steal a man, you should die. They stole us. And they still haven't got recompense for that, because now they living in glory based off our enslavement that they did a working on us with. So right here in verse 24, "So shall they see shortly your salvation from my power, which shall come upon you with great glory and brightness of the everlasting." Yeah, the Lord's coming back right after this collapse happened. Because once America goes down, that war is going to spark up to where these nations are going to use nuclear missiles. And these nuclear missiles, they're going to hit some parts of the world, especially over here in America. And the Lord is warning us Israelites to get right so we won't get caught in that fire, because that fire is really meant for Esau and these other nations, for putting their hands on Israel. Genesis chapter 3 goes into that. The Lord will plead with all these nations in the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is over there in the east, where they about to start this World War III. It's already started, but the hot part of the war. Because you could say the Cold War was really World War III, because after World War II became the Cold War. That's why it was really titled that. But the war now is in the hot war. World War III. And that's prophecy. Revelation chapter 11, verse 14. The second war is past, the third war coming quickly. The second war is talking about Second World War, because it was a whole war around the world. Millions upon millions died in that first war, and the second war was worse. So they predicted even after World War I, there's going to be no more wars. They predicted the first war to be the end-all, be-all wars. But then they started World War II. And after World War II, a lot of rich elite families became more powerful, especially over in America. America became a cash cow for the elite, because they used the American military might, and also from the free slave labor that America has gained, has gave them much prosperity. That's why you can link America to that great whore, or that harlot, is written about in Revelation chapter 17, because it lines up with America. Revelation chapter 18 goes to how Babylon is splendid. got all these good, costly things in America. That's why everybody's still flocking to America. But soon America's not going to be America. It's going to be Babylon the Great falling. Because America went to heights that Babylon exceeded, which was really gain the world and have, major influence in the world, and a good military, intelligence to govern the known world at that time. It was even called the head of gold in the interpretation of the prophecy of the prophet Daniel in Daniel chapter 2 about the statue. So America is mimicked as Babylon, ancient Babylon, but in this time it's Babylon the Great. So right here it says, verse 25, my children, suffer patiently the wrath that has come upon you from Yahweh, for thy enemy have persecuted thee, but shortly thou shalt see his destruction, and should tread upon his neck. And we seeing that. And remember, Jacob said in Genesis chapter 49 about Judah, hand should be in the neck of his enemies. Because when Yahweh shall come back, who is from the tribe of Judah, he's going to literally have his hand on the elite neck, on his enemy's neck, all of them. That's how he's going to get that rank, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And it's going to happen in our lifetime. More delicate ones, it's like my delicate ones, have gone rough ways and were taken away as a flock caught of the enemies. Be of good comfort, O my people, it's like, O my children. Be of good comfort, O my children, and cry unto Yahweh. For ye should be remembered of him that brought these things upon you. For as it was your mind to go astray from Yahweh, so being returned, seek him 10 more times. That's why you have us men on Yahweh's byways preaching and also posting videos, studying, doing gatherings together, committing high holy days, having spiritual talks. Because this is the church. This is the meaning for church is calling. The Lord called this, and the Lord's going to start choosing. Well, he already chose, but this is the process of him choosing, because once the elect is sealed, that's it. We ain't got to push the word no more. Matthew 24, verse 14. Once this gospel of the kingdom is preached throughout the four corners of the earth, then should the end come. And that's happening by way of the internet. The unicorn, which is written about in Job chapter 39. It's the word unicorn, just metaphor for some type of power. One power. This internet is literally that unicorn, which the satellite dish has that feed horn on it, and the dish holding it up, and it's aiming at the sky, and it has a satellite in the sky that receive the signal and dish out the signal again to whatever device to have videos to come up. It also said, will the unicorn abide by thy crib, and will it take thy sons home, sons back, or gather thy sons home, back home, like straw in a barn or something. I'm roughly paraphrasing, but literally it's like, is these videos that we sacrificing and doing for the Lord, will it actually bring about the kingdom of heaven? Will it actually take us back to Israel? And the answer is yes, it is going to take us back. It's just the Lord doing it by way of prophecies. So right here it says, verse 28, for as it was your mind, okay, it's like in verse 29, for he that hath brought these plagues upon you shall bring you everlasting joy with your salvation. So the Lord put these plagues on us, but the Lord's going to bring us salvation. It says, verse 30, take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee that name will comfort thee. Miserable are they that afflicted thee, and rejoiced at thy fall. Yeah, these Edomites forefathers, or whether the founding fathers of America, they had us to serve them by way of kidnapping us and torturing us, having great power over us. They afflicted us. They rejoiced at us falling. All those different wars that they had with the so-called natives of the Americas, because they really the children of Israel. They really moved over here during right around 700 BC, or almost mid 700 BC. The Northern Kingdom. Spoke about Second Ezra chapter 13. That's a little history to go to show you that they are the children of Israel. Then you have certain scholars that mention them, that they have traits just like Hebrew Israelites, even down to the language, the dress code, how they call on the name of the Lord. So they knew all that. And guess what? They still went against us. Why? Because it was prophecy. And now we're at the end of that prophecy being fulfilled, which is that testimony. And then the Lord's about to deliver us. Miserable are the cities which thy children served. Yeah, they are miserable now. They in straits. Esau complaining. Well, it goes to show you too, Isaiah 19, there should be no work for the head nor branch of Egypt. The modern day Egypt is America, especially to Israel. Miserable is she that received thy sons, for as she rejoiced at thy ruin and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. For I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude, and her pride shall be turned into mourning. For fire shall come upon her from the everlasting, long to endure. Yeah, that fire is talking about nuclear missiles. And she should be inhabited of devils for a great time, meaning those desert creatures, not the spiritual demon Satan and his demons. O Jerusalem, look about thee toward the east, and behold the joy that cometh unto thee from Yahweh. Lo, thy sons come, whom thou sentest away. They come gathered together from the east to the west by the word of the Holy One, rejoicing in the glory of Yahweh. So yeah, we about to get the kingdom, man. Brother, stay strong. You see what's going on in America. America's finished. So you see the Lord banking on his word. So stay prayed up to them and say shalom.